wanted to share with you guys some projects that I have made that I never filmed and haven't shared with you guys, because I just want to put whatever creative projects I do out there, whatever inspires you guys, whatever you find fascinating. And these are things that I really like, that I'm really proud that I made. So yeah, let me share those with you. The first things we're gonna look at are clothing items. Some of these items I made over the last year and a half-ish. But I wanna start with some of the more recent ones, and then if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen some of these before because I share the projects I do on my own that I don't record there. But I've decided it's time to share some of those actually on my channel. The first one, I have this cute little set of hat and mittens that I made. So I downloaded the pattern for this hat online. It was a free pattern. I will link it below. And I found this fabric in a thrift store. And my brother, last December, was it last December? Last December, my brother married a young lady who we love very much, and she's from Canada. So when I saw this fabric for like 15 cents, I just about lost my mind. I downloaded the hat pattern. I did the pom-pom myself. There wasn't a pattern for this. It's the first pom-pom I've made. I'm really proud of it. It worked out so well. And then for the mittens, I traced my hands and then made them slightly larger. And yeah, they're a little thin around the wrist. I am thinking about cutting off just the bottom there because I should have used a zigzag stitch instead, and then adding some plain red fleece cuffs to the bottom, which I might still do if I have time. I do need to work on Halloween costumes for my upcoming Halloween videos and for Halloween in general, because Halloween's the best holiday ever. Yeah, this was a really fun, quick project. I think I finished this, all of it. I think I did all of the sewing for this within 1 hour. So yeah, it was really fun. I can't wait to give this to her. She's excited about it. She has seen them. I video chatted her and I was like, I made you a thing. And I mean, when you've got a Canadian sister-in-law and you find this fabric, you just have to use it. And I used almost every scrap of it. All right, the next project is one I actually finished yesterday. And it is a cloak. But this time it's not a fantasy cloak. It's actually like a fashionable, cool weather fall cloak. And I'll just model that for you here. Ta-da! I'm very happy with this. So yeah, I did finish this yesterday. I have enough scraps that I'm kind of thinking about making some sort of hat. I also have some turkey plumage that I could put on a hat if I made it, that I think would work really well with the kind of brownish orange on here. But yeah, I can't wait for the weather to keep getting cooler so that I can wear this out and about as I push my stroller around with my toddler in it and just live life to its fullest. This project kicked my butt, honestly. This outer fabric, this kind of tweed plaid that I have here, I found in a thrift store in Rigby about a year ago, and I've just been hanging on to it because I knew I wanted to do this kind of a project with it. I knew I wanted to turn it into a winter outerwear item, and then I saw these pictures on Pinterest, which, oh my gosh, look at these. I saw as I was looking, because you know, Pinterest algorithms, I found these patterns for it and stuff, but they were more just like pictures of the outside of the envelope, and I didn't have a pattern. So I made my own pattern. I drafted the pattern. I did use my regular cloak pattern that I've used several times for sizing the shoulders and stuff and getting the general curvature. And then I changed that. I used wrapping paper and used that to pattern my draft and changed it up until it got to the shape that I hoped would become this, and it worked. So happy about that. And it's just a cute little short cloak. It is a little weird in the back. I don't know why that happened. But the trickiest part about this were these inner fabrics, because it has this kind of satin lining, and then underneath that is a white fleece batting in between. And I was trying to quilt the entire inside like this, how it is on the side flaps here, but it just was not working, because as I tried to adjust the tension for the slippery fabric, it would hold on to the fleece too much, and everything was just pulling and tugging in the wrong directions, and the fabric wasn't lining up anymore, and there were tears shed, and there was frustration shown. But once I got it all put together with the outer fabric on the attempted quilting bits, it worked out. And then I did the top stitching along the edges there, and then for the collar, I just used a rectangle. For the placket, also a rectangle. I put in the buttonholes. These buttons are from a previous project where I took, oh, you know what? I'll just show you that next. And I love the shape that this front panel makes, where it looks like a skirt, because like I'm wearing jeans, but it's so feminine. But yeah, I think it'll look really good with the hat. Again, I'm thinking about making a matching hat out of the same fabric, if I can figure out how to do that. So that's this project, my purple fashion cloak. I love it so much. Okay, so this next one was a coat that I got, in 2012. And I absolutely loved it, and I wore it completely out. The pockets were ripped through, the lining was coming off, the leather on the front was peeling, and the zipper was broken, and it was too tight because after 10 years you gain weight, especially after having a child. So what I did, and it was just a little red coat, it didn't have any other embellishments to it at first, and it was originally from Forever 21. It was originally a gift from my Aunt Debbie. So obviously new zipper, because you know, broken zipper, new zipper, and it had a plastic zipper before, and now it has a very heavy-duty metal one, which I love. It feels so sturdy. I put new leather pieces on the front, and then because it didn't fit anymore, I'm going to point the camera down, I thrifted this gray plaid coat, and I cut wedges off of the coat, and then I cut open the slits in my red coat. I did it along the seams on the sides, and then in the back I just had to kind of figure out where to center it, and I used the center back of the gray coat so that it would have the same pleating that that gray coat had, which it was more of a blazer, but it worked out. So I added those in, and then the trickiest part of that was actually putting in the lining of that. So I had to sew the linings together and the outsides together so that it would be nice and neat. To do that, I actually left the zipper off of the inside so I could go in through right here, if that makes sense. And I was able to have it kind of turned burrito wrap style-ish, not exactly burrito wrap style, so I could work on the entire insides, and then the only thing that needed to be top stitched to close it off was right along this zipper, which then gets covered by this placket piece that goes along the front. so you can't tell at all. Then I took the embellishments from the gray jacket, like the cuffs and the shoulder straps. It's hidden by the hood. And I added those on. And as you can see, the gray coat is where I got those buttons that match on the cloak that I was just talking about, because they were the buttons that went down the front. But I also chose it because the gray does have red lines in it, so it doesn't detract from the red at all. Anyways, it made it so that this coat fits, can last longer, and best of all, I have the original pockets that come on the red coat, plus these pockets on the gray coat, plus these other pockets on the gray coat. So I went from having 2 to 6 pockets. 6 pockets on a coat. I fixed the lining, I fixed the pockets, I was able to make this a completely redesigned piece. And I get so many compliments on it last winter when I was wearing it out. People would be like, oh my gosh, I love your coat. And I'd be like, thanks, I altered it myself. And I just love that because it throws people off. No one expects you to have made or altered your own clothes, which kind of baffles my mind because it's such a fun hobby. And it's such a fun way to express yourself. I actually should just do a coats video. That would be fun. Alright, this next one was just a really simple alteration. And this is a suit dress. And it originally had buttons that just blended in. And I changed it to these flower buttons. It's so happy. I have a matching skirt that goes with this. I didn't do anything to the skirt, so yep, just added flower buttons to that. Alright, I did the same treatment to this. Obviously, some buttons have fallen off the bottom there, so I need to redo that. And then I embroidered the buttons on the pocket, and I was going to embroider the collar. I started that on both sides, but I didn't get very far with that because I didn't like how it was looking on the underside. So I gave up, but I just left what I had done there, and I did that embroidery in the same color thread as the shirt. Oh yeah, and I put little buttons on the sleeves. The flower buttons I got in a big pack. It came in lots of different sizes, so I did it to a lot of shirts, including this one. But this one, I used all buttons that were the same color. Now this shirt was my mom's and she didn't want it anymore. So I took it and it was just white with the brown paisley pattern. I decided that it wasn't me, but I didn't hate it. So I went and I got some Rit dye and I turned it lavender, changed the buttons, and then as I was working on it, I noticed that these darts coming up to the front of the breast were about 2 inches off from each other. Kathy Daniels Company, what's up with that? Why were your darts 2 inches different on different sides of the shirt? That's kind of a problem. No one was gonna look flattering. No wonder my mom didn't want this shirt. No one was gonna look flattering if your darts are like, no, what the heck? I don't know this company, I'm just ratting on it. Anyways, so I went through, I fixed the darts, I took it in on the sides and dyed it and changed the buttons. I did put yellow flower buttons on the cuffs because yellow is the complementary color to purple. I think it's very fun. After I finished it, I think I wore it like twice a week for a few months, and it just became a go-to piece for me. I'm sure you guys have seen me wear this before even. I don't know. Alright, this next one was another hand-me-down from my mom. And this was a dress that she wore when she was a little younger than I am now. And I did a lot of changes to this dress. So here's the dress now. So I added this white button-up piece here. Before it was just, let's see if I can show you. This is the texture of the original top. It is a canvas. It is quite easy to see through. And it was very blocky. It was a little dated. It wasn't, I like a crisp collar. I love a crisp collar. I think it's so classy. Very Agent Carter to have a nice crisp collar. Yeah, so I did that. Originally I thought about changing the buttons, but I decided after I started that I liked the buttons, so I just cleaned them up a bit. Then I added this green ribbon. It did not have the green before. I added the green ribbon and I just wove it through the existing lace pattern. There and there. I mean, this is just a brooch. I have matching clip-on earrings that go with that brooch. If we open it up, you can see I tucked the bottom of this hem in, and what did I do? I did a whip stitch all the way around so that that was fully connected. It does zipper in the back, so I had to add a zipper space to this shirt, and then I actually tucked this shirt down on the existing fabric there, and then stitched that on. The tricky part here was the collar, where I needed it to split, and I just put this button here. But yeah, and I really like it. Oh, the other thing, I put a built-in slip. It did not have a built-in slip, so I added a built-in slip, which is something I did to a few dresses. Let's look at that. So this dress, from the outside, you can't really tell that I've done anything. I got this dress in Hong Kong from Mittens. I love this dress. I love the accordion pleats on this dress. It is so comfy. It is long sleeve. It's got this loose elastic waist, so yeah, it is so comfy. I put new pearly buttons on there because the old ones, this button, the original button had fallen off, and the original buttons were blue, and they were supposed to have a rhinestone in the middle, and all the rhinestones were gone, and they just were kind of chipped and old looking. So I added that, and then the built-in slip that it came with has ripped. It didn't have a lot of room for movement. So I added a built-in circle skirt slip underneath. And I also thrifted this fabric. Then these eyelets, the Swiss eyelet lace is from Walmart. They didn't have enough of what I needed, so I did need to order in bulk online, and I still have plenty of this. And I love Swiss eyelets so much. And I also added the same pearly buttons to the cuffs of the sleeves as well. So I altered that, but it's more like an interior and then some very detailed alterations. Not much else. I've thought about trying to add more color to this, but every time I think about it, I change my mind. However, that doesn't mean I don't love color, because then I've got my rainbow gingham dress. This dress I also got at Mittens in Hong Kong, and it was just blue. It was just blue. It had white buttons. It had little ties on the side. And when I was 20 years old, I'm 29 now for reference. When I was 20 years old, the blue dress fit perfectly. And then I had my first kid, and it didn't fit, and I was so sad, and I was gonna get rid of it, and the ties had already broken off a long time ago, and I had stitched those holes up that they had come out of and stuff. So this dress was heavily inspired by Pixie Locks. Go check out their channel, they are so amazing. And yeah, so what I did is I went to the thrift store specifically looking for some sort of gingham I could use to keep the gingham going. I had looked in fabric stores for one about the same size, and I was either finding like huge buffalo print or teeny tiny like microscopic gingham, and neither of that was gonna work. And then I don't know if someone had like a rainbow gingham family reunion, but there were like 20 rainbow gingham shirts at DI. And so this pink part is one shirt. This was the back of the shirt. This was the front of the shirt. And I just cut the panels for that. I sewed it up. And then I used the green buttons, which are also gingham. And then from the green shirt, I also cut the pockets off the front of the shirt and stitched them straight onto the dress, which worked really well. They're nice deep pockets. When you're wearing it, I can fit a lot in these pockets. And then the purple gingham shirt, I cut a band from and I made a bow, and there's also a button hiding on the inside of that. I did grab yellow, but I ended up not using it because I wasn't sure where to put it, and I didn't want to just start putting random patches everywhere. Plus I was afraid that having yellow gingham on this dress would kind of pull out my soy sauce stains that are everywhere on this dress, and don't pay attention to that because the gingham's supposed to hide the stains. The last thing I did on this dress was I used that same Swiss eyelet trim, and I just went all along the bottom, and I have this one actually connected to the bottom of the dress. I did not put a built-in slip on this one. And yeah, so that's always visible. I love this one. It is pretty much floor length, ankle length, whatever you want to call it. This one, minor alterations. I had to bring in the sides for I got this for my cousin's wedding. So I brought in the sides under the vest and on the vest because it was too wide. And that is all I did for that. I did need a friend's help with that because I couldn't pin without moving too much, and I needed my arms kind of down like that. So a friend helped me pin it. Hi Laurie! And yeah, simple alteration. Alright, this is the last dress I'm going to show you guys for right now. This is what I believe is a vintage 1960s dress, and I love it so much. It is so 1960s. Look at this color. Look at this color. Oh, it's so fun. And this cut. I was really excited. I found this at Thrifted Linens in Rexburg, which is a great vintage thrift store. When I was looking at it, one of the first things I noticed is that it is homemade. And you can tell that because of the way the stitching is done. You can tell that because it's of the way the notches are cut from a pattern. You can tell that because of the material it is. Yeah, so this is homemade. And I love whoever made it. I don't know them, but I love them. It's really well done for being homemade. It was very low. It came down to about here, which it was not working for me. So I took inspiration from Agent Carter to fix this dress, because in the racehorse scene, she wears this dress and it has that big cutout window there. But in the dream sequence scene, she's wearing the same dress. But what do you notice? There is a nude piece of fabric that has been placed in that window, and I can't help but think that that had to be a very conscious decision on the costuming department, and I would like to know the story behind that. So I went and I got a little skin-colored piece of fabric. It's not exactly straight. I did my best. It's hard to work with stretchy fabrics, but I hemmed I did a roll hem first, and then I put the dress on my dress form inside out and tried to just kind of hand stitch this in place. And yeah, so now when I wear it, I'm not bearing all. But it's very fun. It's very 60s. It goes really well with my fur hat and my fur coat, actually, with some thick colored tights. And then I actually, at Dollar Tree of all places, found sunglasses that match the exact same color. So this one's really fun to accessorize as well. Spring looks, winter looks, like it's very fun. All right, now it's time to look at some projects that are not clothing. So the next thing I want to share with you is this piece of furniture. This was originally a microwave cart, and I found it on Facebook Marketplace. I got this microwave cart with the intention of putting the fish tank in, but I had to change a few things with it because our vacuum robot plugs in right there. So I added these legs online. So I added these legs, which are 4 inches tall, which I thought would be perfect for the vacuum to fit under, and it almost is. It's about 1 millimeter off, which means the vacuum had trouble docking about 70% of the time. So then we added these are actually toys. They're little wooden puzzle pieces for a shapes puzzle. I grabbed 4 of the circle ones and we put them underneath the legs, and that allows for the vacuum to dock easily at night. And the reason we wanted the vacuum under there is because our toddler treats it like a pet and wants it on all the time and pushes the buttons and stuff, and so it was easier if he just is able to forget that it's there. So yeah, I got the microwave cart, added the legs, put the puzzle pieces underneath as a temporary solution for now, and put the fish tank in. Now you might be looking at that fish tank and going, how do you clean it? How do you get the fish out? How do you feed the fish? How do you get to your filter? So here are my fishies. The water is cleaner than it looks. There's brown wood behind it, so it looks browner than it is. These are my fishies. They're so happy, and I love them so much. And 2 little treasure chests in there. I thought about putting D&D dice in here as well, but I don't know. I just haven't done that because I don't want to actually sacrifice D&D dice. But I call the tank Treasure Cove. Now to feed my fish, it's actually feeding time right now. So I'm just able to reach in right here, have my food in the drawer, and my pinch measuring spoon. And I'm able to just grab what I need and dump it right into that circle there. And you can see my fishies, they know when it's feeding time. The skirted tetras all come up to the feeding ring, and then the neon tetras always wait underneath for what falls. Now, reaching the filter was a different problem because the filter did not fit. So I borrowed a skill saw, and I cut a big hole in the top of my microwave cart. Ta-da! So I can actually lift the filter out, and once the filter's out, I can scoot the whole thing forward, and this top does not go out as far as this bottom, so I can clean out the water and take care of stuff that way, and I can pour extra water in through the top, through the filter here. Yeah, I am not a fish tank expert. I am new to this. These are the first pets I've had as an adult. That's that project. Well, 2 projects, the fish tank and the microwave cart, which ended up being 1 project put together. The reason I chose to use a microwave cart as an entryway table is because I can put decor on top. It's not gonna end up with like a bunch of toys everywhere, magnets everywhere. It's not gonna end up with a bunch of toys on it unless the toys are my decor, like that, which I'm working on currently. So that way my toddler can't get to the top, and adding the legs made it even more so. Yay! This next one I've been debating on showing you guys or not, because you know, you can see it from the front of my house because it's my front door. I don't want you guys to be able to find me. That would be weird. Well, this is my beautiful front door. And the day after we moved into this house, I painted it purple. This is Paparazzi Purple from Home Depot. And I love the deep, dark, rich color of it. It's glossy, it's just dusty right now. And then I have had this lion head door knocker since I was a little girl with a castle themed bedroom. And I have just kept it knowing that I wanted it on my future house. Here's the future house. The future is now. I got this matching set right here so that it would pull out the golds. And again, yellow and purple are complementary colors. Gold is like the shiny version of yellow. And I did I picked the one that has kind of the texture look to it instead of the super shiny one, so it wouldn't show all the fingerprints and everything. The door wants to close on its own, obviously. But yeah, I painted my door dark purple because I can, because it's fun. This is the next project I want to share with you guys. So I was originally going to do an entire makeover of this laundry room, but then the wallpaper got delayed by 3 months, and then I canceled the order, and I haven't come up with something since. But this was a brown covered with a bare unpainted side. So I took some green paint and I painted it up, and I like it. It's got yellow gingham contact paper on the inside of the cupboards. I did get paint on the wall. Oops. And I'm planning on painting over it the paint that the house that is in the garage somewhere. I know the last owners left it for us. I don't know which bucket it is because there's 2 different paint colors. And frankly, I haven't seen really a need to fix that up when I still want to do this whole wall in like blue lemons. This isn't staying here. This was 50 cents, so I thought it was a good placeholder until I find that. But yeah, painted this cupboard. I got one more project that I didn't film that I want to show you guys, but we gotta go outside. All right, the last project is my pram, my buggy. This is my buggy. She's beautiful, and she has a history to her. So my mom found her in an antique shop when me and my sister were babies. Yeah, it was just the frame at the time, just the frame, the metal frame. And my mom brought it to my grandma, my dad's mom, and asked her to sew together an actual base and stuff so that it could be usable. And so this is the pram with the same fabric that my mom used for my siblings and I. But it had been sitting unused for about 17 years, I think. Yeah, I think about 17 years it had been sitting unused. I played with it when I was very little. I used to put my baby dolls in it and just push it around like back and forth. But now it's actually mine. So I reattached these little balls to the side. I had to get new washers, and I had to get a new screw for one of the sides. And then I reattached this part here, the mechanism that puts the hood on. And that was actually the trickiest part of this project because it's originally put on with rivets, and I don't have a rivet gun. So one side was riveted and the other this side, the mechanism was completely off. And I went to Ace and I got what I thought would work. I came home, I tried to put it in, it didn't work. I went back, I returned it, I went to try something else. This time I brought the buggy to Ace with me so I wouldn't have to come all the way home. And it didn't work either. So finally I brought the buggy into the store, and one of the guys in there, one of the people that works there, helped me for like 15 to 20 minutes just trying different things until we found something that worked. It was tricky because the hole on the hood is different than the hole on the mechanism for it to fit through, and then length was an issue, and then also making sure that nothing poked into the carriage was an issue. It was also really dusty. I had to wipe the interior down good with wet cloths until finally it started looking white instead of beige on the inside. Anyways, I love it. As you can see, there's not sidewalks around here. There is a block down, but there's not sidewalks where I'm at. And so my regular umbrella stroller could not get past my yard area very easily. This, however, has these big old wheels. Can I show you the wheels? There we go. It has these big old wheels that have no problem on tough terrain. So yeah, my toddler loves riding in here. I've gotten to the library and to 2 different parks and stuff with it. He loves it. When he sees me standing at it, he'll just climb right in. And yeah, I'm super happy to have this. And I might try to make something to go on the handle here since it's just bare metal. I was watching season 11 of Call the Midwife the other night, and I noticed all the crayons have like leather covers or something on there, but that's not a priority. It's not something I'm going to do right away or anytime soon. But yeah. Alright, that is it for projects that I don't think I showed you guys before. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was me just rambling and bragging, but I mean, if you made it this far through the video, you must have found it entertaining. Can't wait for what's coming up. Can't wait for Halloween. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what other creative projects I do. I usually do them with you guys on this channel. Don't forget to stay creative. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hi, welcome to my laundry room. What is this, a 1950s commercial? Welcome to the laundry room. Here you'll be able to clean all your clothes in the comfort of your own home. What am I doing? It was also